Live.
Hey guys, so we got a new coach in Philly. Let's check this out.
When you step across the white stripe, the only thing that matters is that 6 inches between your backbone and your breastbone.
To the corner of the end zone. Does he get both feet down?
Touchdown is ruled out for him.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome. We are in the middle of, we just finished doing our shot collar roulette. Hopefully you guys joined us. But now, more importantly now, we got this coach coming in from Philly, for Philly. What is his name? Nick Sriracha Sauce?
Nick Sirianni.
Toronto? Is it the guy from Major League?
Sirianni.
Siriano.
Oh, Sirianni. Bibbidi bobbidi, bibbidi bobbidi bobbidi, bibbidi. Is that what I'm getting here from this?
No, it's I actually, it was something that was out of left field, and from looking at perspective from far, it actually does not look terrible. But I feel that I believe Steve will agree that that it is more along the lines of Jeffrey Lurie wanting to maintain some sort of control over the franchise, and we'll see. We're gonna go back and forth on all this, and I think that it could be a good hire, depending on what coordinators he does bring to the table. So.
I think that's a huge part of this whole thing. He's obviously a new first-time coach. They're bringing him in because, let's face it, they like to have control over the person that's under them, and it's all gonna depend on his staff. I think really, if they can bring in the right staff and they can get Carson in the right direction, then it's going to be a big plus. If not, it could all blow up in their face.
So what you're saying is that Jeffrey Lurie is like a over-controlling girlfriend who just needs to, now that they went through that bad breakup where they're like the submissive type, and now I'm in charge. I'm a boss bitch now. Is that what I'm gathering now?
Yeah, pretty much. So with Jeffrey Lurie, as much as everyone cheered that Andy Reid was on his way out, and as much as everyone cheered that Chip Kelly was in, and then everyone cheered that Chip Kelly was out, and then everyone cheered that Doug Peterson was in, and maybe not with so much fanfare. But what we do have is a guy that's got worlds of experience. He is, if you want to say, young, a little green and everything. He's still pushing 40. He's still got a tons of talent, and he knows what he's doing and knows what he wants. This isn't a guy that is from the Andy Reid tree. This is a guy that comes out of our everyone praises for what we would say would be our Super Bowl victory. So maybe he learned a couple things. You definitely want to see a guy that comes in and he definitely learns things from different head coaches and how to do things. This is a guy that's going to be a part of the draft process. This is going to be a Howie draft, no doubt. So I don't think he's going to have a lot of input. What you want to see is a lot of more input as far as the lines. You can only hope that Howie gets back to basics and says, I'm going to get back to, we're going to win between the trenches. A lot of offense and a lot of defensive line play and everything like that. This guy that we've hired, Nick Sirianni. So this guy that we did, he does bring a lot of experience. He was a Todd Haley guy coming in from KC. He did a little time in college, but he's progressed himself through everything. He went through the KC. He went through the whole quality control thing. He went through the wide receiver mark. He went to San Diego.
Which is German for a whale's vagina.
Yes, it is definitely French for whale's vagina.
German.
I'm sorry. I gotta get my. French fry is from Belgium. I would have never have thought.
I just learned that
recently.
That
has been lost for years, thousands of years through a ship. There's a ship that crashed, but we are back to it. So San Diego,
Los Angeles. This gentleman is gone through Indianapolis, offensive coordinator there. Now he's the head coach. You want to see a couple years experience through an offensive coordinator. I know he did not call the plays, and a lot of people make a big difference about, oh, well, he didn't call the plays. Neither did Andy Reid. Neither did a lot of guys.
Yeah, I think sometimes that's overrated. During the week, putting together a game plan and figuring the defenses and the offensive structures, setting out the actual game plan. Maybe he didn't call the plays on each individual play, but it's critical to sit in on those meetings, study the defenses, and come up with a game plan for each game, each and every week. Something that we haven't really seen too well with Peterson over the last 3 years. I would say his game plan seemed to be one-dimensional, and there was no effort as they got into the game to really be able to adjust. So
that's a fantastic point, Steve.
Yeah,
and yes, absolutely. And you will see that with Nick Sirianni.
Yep,
that is the name, and you will see that Indianapolis definitely took a young back in Jonathan Taylor and made him into a Pro Bowl candidate. And I believe that they can do the same with Miles Sanders, which will be very unorthodox in Philadelphia over what we've saw over the last 20 years, where halfback plays a second fiddle role. So I believe that with Miles Sanders getting more of a more potent action on the field and game plan, I think that could definitely help out with the Wentz development. And maybe even so, Sirianni.
I'd say fuck you, Joe Boy. I do it to myself.
Sirianni. But you can definitely see that this was definitely a quarterback.
Yeah, influenced definitely by the
yes.
having to bring back Wentz's confidence, his abilities. And I think it's a good thing. I mean, the Todd Haley influence, the Frank Reich influence, being around Phillip Rivers for over 7 years can hurt. I think there's so many things that they kind of weighed into the factor that, all right, yeah, he is inexperienced, but he has been around some really good professionals, and he can bring a lot to the table. Well, I like the idea of what you're saying about Miles Sanders getting a bigger role. There's no doubt that Peterson got away from the run all the time, put more pressure on Wentz. Wentz was getting beaten to a pulp with a bad offensive line. So, if we can take some of that burden off by giving Miles Sanders the ball a little more, and also his experience with wide receivers. He was a wide receivers coach for years. He can help these young wide receivers we have. If we're not going to bring in some new talent, hopefully we are, but it doesn't look like they're going to draft in the first round. So I'm thinking they're going safety in the first round. So
Safety.
Safety.
Well,
safety. We need an entire offensive line.
We need so many
an
things.
Entire offensive line. And we need an entire offensive line like the world needs a COVID vaccine that actually works. But you can't just bring.
What do you mean? Getting a shot doesn't solve all issues.
Well, I mean, getting a shot of anabolic steroids might. I mean, that's what we need. We need some muscles on this.
Okay,
team.
well, let's get Bosworth in here.
It didn't work out too well.
Get some Brian Bosworth in here. We'll be fine.
But the fact that when you said earlier, like. Howie is gonna. This is another Howie. Howie's gonna be doing the draft.
Don't get me started on Howie.
Well, but to be fair,
What, do you have some kind of drinking problems?
It's a problem, Dan.
That's alcohol's abuse.
Well, to be fair.
Oh, don't say to be fair. Hate when people say to be fair. It sounds like to be fair.
To be fair.
Well, to be fair.
to be fair,
Howie's
been doing the fucking draft for so long that it doesn't matter. He's already been doing the draft, and I don't think. I mean, after the whole Chip Kelly debacle, where Chip Kelly thought he was king dick of the game after only being in the NFL
didn't draft
for one
too bad
season.
though.
It doesn't matter.
I was actually looking at this. He did not draft terribly.
No, he
Okay,
didn't.
but where are they?
He didn't draft.
Wait, what do you mean?
No,
Who did?
Jason Kelsey.
Howie didn't draft
cornerstone
bad?
players.
We've had
Jason
two.
Kelce. Who's still here in Philadelphia? That's actually
One Pro Bowl player, and we
You know,
and we went and picked a backup for him this year instead of having faith in him. Carson Wentz is the only Pro Bowl player over the last
Right, but you look
I mean,
at,
other than Jason Kelsey.
if we want to, if you're going to, talk about drafts and everything like that, and all, you got to talk about development and developing players.
Yes, it takes
you
time.
have to. It takes time to develop players and whatnot. So when you try to develop players, and you want to go back to say the Andy Reid era, everything, and you look at what did he do with his drafts? Not a whole heck of a lot, but he did develop some players.
Yeah, he would
It's
bring
not-
guys in
you're
that
not hitting
would take some
every-
time to get
you're
into the lineup.
not hitting
Yeah.
every single player to be started from day one. You're not. So a lot of times you see these Philly fans and you're like, okay,
yeah,
well,
but-
listen, we drafted you and you have to develop within a year. You're talking about 5-6 years down the line, they might develop into something
Right.
productive.
I'm okay with that, but here's
So-
my problem.
Chip Kelly did a decent job, I thought.
No,
in drafting.
Chip was okay.
He did a decent job.
I
in
don't know
drafting.
how much of the input
He did.
they gave him.
Zach
I mean,
Ertz,
he did
come
in-
you're talking about what we want to talk about Zach Ertz, and we will talk about Dallas Goddard, Philly Goddard, however you want to mention it and everything like that. And we want to talk about these kinds of they're totally different players. Zach Ertz was a wide receiver playing the tight end position.
And he's one of the best tight ends in the NFL.
Absolutely. And then you have Dallas Goddard, who is your I don't want to say run of the mill.
No, he's
in
better than
line.
average. He's better than
And
average.
he's better than average, but
Yeah, he's
we're
not.
trying to talk
not,
Zach Ertz out of the whole situation because we don't
Yeah,
want to pay him.
I don't agree
And
with
I'm
that.
sorry, I'm not about that.
Me
I'm
either.
sorry. And,
Well, but here's part of it. In that vein, what happens is if you bring a guy in and he takes 2-3 years to develop, and he finally does make if he doesn't, you're screwed because you're missing that spot. But if he does make a mark, then he's almost time to collect his paycheck, and that puts you over the cap. The cap figures in heavily to this.
oh, absolutely.
And Howie's a big cap guy, and I give him a lot of credit for the numbers, but I think it weighs too much into his decisions when it comes draft day. I think he looks at a guy, says, all right, we got 2 or 3 guys up above him. And then if those guys don't pan out, so he'll take a guy and take a risk on somebody who he thinks is maybe a year, 2-3 years away, right?
Right.
And because he thinks he has a guy who's going to play or whatever. And then the guy either doesn't pan out or moves on, and now you're screwed. Or you get stuck in a cap situation where you have to bring in a free agent and fill a void, and it puts you up against the wall. I mean, kind of what they're facing now
where
going
we're at
into
now.
this year.
Yes.
So I see where Howie's at. I kind of get his methodology, but I don't necessarily agree with it. When you have your first and second round picks, you have to hit. They have to hit the field next year, especially when you have a team like we do, who is so void of talent. There's no way you can miss on a first and second round pick, which he did last year. And I'm not saying Jalen Hurts isn't a talent, but he's not somebody the Eagles needed last year.
That was a waste of a draft pick.
It was a
It was
freaking cluster. It
was a luxury pick, and I
screwed
feel
up their quarterback. They created a locker room dissension. They ruined this team by
I
that pick.
feel
One
Jalen
pick.
Hurts can develop into a competent quarterback in the NFL to be a starter. Absolutely.
I agree
feel
wholeheartedly.
he can develop, but you're talking about a guy that's going to need about 2-3.
I don't even know about that.
He could he definitely can.
We don't
be
know.
a productive.
The
quarterback.
point is, why did we bring him here after we just signed a quarterback
There
for
was no reason for
$128
that.
million?
That was a luxury pick
So-
that Howie could not take. But let's
Wait, with that, before you
yes.
go on, that's why my biggest thing with Howie is when they evaluated the problems of this team at the end of the season, my biggest thing is who made that decision to pick Jalen Hurts? Because in my opinion, after you just signed a $128 million contract, not what, 10 or a year ago?
total mismanagement. Yes, absolutely.
So that, to me, any CEO or manager who's running a business, I would be in his face and be like, what are you doing? You made this. So I don't know if Howie made the pick, if Doug made the pick, or who made the pick, but whoever made that pick would not be on my
From
team.
what the words are that's
He
coming
would be
out,
out
it was
the
a
window.
Peterson pick.
Okay, so then maybe they
From
made the
words
right.
that's coming out that
If that's the
Peterson
choice,
did not,
See eye to eye with Wentz.
it might not. It might have been. Can this guy? Can this guy stay healthy. That was more of the thing. Like, we have to take a guy early just in case.
I got
This
you.
guy cannot stay healthy.
You mean to tell me there weren't like 10 guys out there with NFL experience that we couldn't have brought in as a backup, that we could
not
at
a price
come
tag of what it would cost?
maybe.
What it would cost if you're taking a second round.
All right,
pick,
how about
you're
Nate?
talking about a mill.
How about Nate Sudfeld's
Yeah,
been here with us
that's-
for 4 years, and they kept telling
No
us
trust in him.
obviously.
No
So
trust in
what's
him.
he even doing
No
on the
trust in
team?
him. They
He
put him
should-
in just to
he
tank it.
Well, no,
They
forget this
knew they could
season.
tank it.
Forget this. So he shouldn't have even been on the roster then. If he
Ah,
couldn't have
as a
been
third quarterback.
No. If he couldn't be number 2, then they shouldn't even had him here. He should have been out the door. They should have cut him in preseason or whatever, the offseason.
As a
and
third
brought in-
quarterback,
Listen,
there's not
there's
a lot of
how many-
resource out there.
How many 10-year veterans are sitting out there who could walk in like
Bring Tebow in.
I know. Well, let's not get crazy.
Now, come on, he's got a
And I don't mean to go after Jalen Hurts at all. I believe that if another team had taken Jalen Hurts with the way that the offenses are moving in the NFL, they could put Jalen Hurts in and he could be a solid starter next year.
You need the right system.
He may have even started this year if they had
You need
some
you
preseason. You know what I mean?
You need the right system for
Right.
Jalen Hurts to
Right.
succeed. You need definitely where Peterson's background, or not background, but because it's totally unorthodox for Andy Reid to run a run pass option offense, but that's where we won a Super Bowl.
Well, I'm talking.
in
How
Philly.
about Houston's going to lose Deshaun Watson? You don't think Jalen Hurts would fit right in?
Well, at the price tag, yes, but
Well, I mean, they're going to be looking for somebody because
they
Deshaun
are,
Watson wants
but
out.
you're not getting rid of Deshaun Watson. Is a guy that could be a perennial all-pro quarterback.
I agree.
He literally carried a team that had
No, I agree,
defense,
but Houston
no offensive line,
I agree.
no running back. They had David Johnson playing running
But
back.
Houston's
who's
not
gonna shut
gonna-
himself for 4 years.
Houston's not going to have a choice. They're going to be without him either way. I'm just saying a guy like Hurts could be a possible solution for a team like Houston.
So prediction on this one, and I've said this before on our streams. Peterson goes to Houston. Deshaun Watson gets traded,
I thought the same thing.
and Hurts goes down with Peterson since Peterson picked him, and if Peterson drafted him, and there we go. And then Wentz is going to go to Indy because now there's an open spot in Indy with the guy that made him the quarterback that he is.
And then we're left with who?
And then we're left with Sudfeld.
You're
You're saying that we are on the
guy
tail
we
end
were-
of being fucked.
the guy we should have cut.
So like if anyone's ever watched the movie Human Centipede, where you've got a guy in the front, a person in the middle, and a person in the back, and their mouths are stitched to the assholes of the other people, we are that person in the middle where we're getting it bad on both ends. We've got a mouth stitched to our assholes, and our
as
mouths
sad
are
as
stitched
it
to an asshole.
sounds, that is
That is
where we are
the
at
direct
right now.
euphemism.
Wow.
It's Human
Barfy, that
Centipede.
is a fantastic
Can,
point
It's
of view
fucking
to
horrible.
say.
It is
And
fucking horrible.
could you stop him from talking? I'm
Nope.
getting sick.
This-
That's how sick I'm getting when I'm seeing the shit. With
It
the
makes
Eagles.
too much sense. I
We
can't
went
stand
from
it.
a Super Bowl quality
But
team
the-
to being
the-
just almost
the-
better
You're
than
right.
the
Alright,
Jets.
So listen, best
Ooh.
case scenario.
Ooh.
Best case scenario. We're looking at we have the 6th pick. Thank you for Peterson for throwing Sudfeld in there, knowing that Sudfeld was not. Thank you for not knowing that Sudfeld could do what he needs to do, and
Shouldn't Peterson have had known that?
But I honestly think where the reports were coming out saying that Jeffrey Lurie was like, listen, we know we're going to be hitting rock bottom in the next year or two. So you can either have an escape or you can,
Okay,
just
but
take
now
it on the
we're
chin
sin-
and whatnot, because Peterson had no
authority.
He had Schwartz. He has no authority.
I agree.
Schwartz built that defense. He had no input.
Schwartz
whatsoever.
had
This
more
is-
input
this
on
is
player
how he-
personnel than Peterson.
throwing picks out and everything like that. Everyone saw the videos of the Vikings, laughing at the Eagles and everything like that because they took Jalen Reagor. Yeah, everyone had a laugh about it. Everyone had a laugh about it, and they were like, "This is like, next pick." Justin Jefferson. And
Dude.
that was their pick. And then what did he do?
Listen.
He outdid Randy Moss in his rookie year.
Look,
He
the
said
three of us could have sat in
Minnesota.
that draft room and done better than they did.
We-
So
we-
you
we
tell
could-
me.
we-
I mean, I'm screaming
Definitely.
at the, I'm screaming at the TV.
I would have, and I've shouted it. I've shouted it to everybody on our fantasy football podcast, on our division playoffs podcast, everything like that. If I had it my way, we take Patrick Queens with that first pick. With the second pick, we take a guy like what was it? Higgins from Cincinnati. I know we might have had to done a trade.
He was
T.
phenomenal
Higgins
this
was
year.
phenomenal. If we were to just go about it that way, I know we would have to probably trade like a 5th round pick to jump up and take a guy like T. Higgins. We all knew coming out of Clemson, this guy can run
Look.
routes.
Yes. Look,
So there's no wait for whims in the second round. There's none of that. So you take the guy who's going to be your cornerstone linebacker for the next 10 years. You take a guy that's going to be, coming out. He's going to be like a DeAndre Hopkins coming out of Clemson. So you take this guy and
how come we know? And they don't know.
So you take this guy, and he's going to be a number 1 wide receiver coming out. He's going to need a year or 2 to develop and everything like that.
Look, here's how I saw it. I mean, you could have fell into those picks. Jefferson dropped in our lap. We could have took him number 1.
Could have.
He's the NFL offensive rookie of the year. Number 2, we would have had the safety. What's the safety's name that is going to be the defensive rookie player of the year? We could have had both of them with the picks if we had taken both of them. We couldn't use a starting safety and we couldn't use a starting wide receiver with the quality that they're both rookies of the year. They would have both been there at our pick. And what did we do? We take Rager and Hertz and create a controversy that ruined our team.
And believe me, if we were to ask,
Even if you skip the rest of the draft, if we just took those 2 players
who might be listening right now, the person who might be listening at the time of my fiance, my beautiful wife, and everything like that, and all like that. Did I not throw a bitch fit with this Hertz pick going, oh my God,
yeah, it's
they
crazy.
could have had a solid receiver at this pick, and they
right.
So
even with the miss.
The question to Cooligan, yes.
What's up, Corey?
Corey, I really appreciate everything you do. You bring a lot of the questions to the table, and yes, a draft day trade for Hertz. I don't think they will get.
Oh, that's my prayer.
Especially if there's a GM with a half a brain.
Right.
If there's a GM with half a brain that watched how the progression went, that's going to trade the draft capital to pry Hertz out of Philly, I don't believe that's going to happen, because you're looking at a guy that was almost subpar 50% in completion percentage. You're looking at a guy that threw more interceptions than touchdowns, and you're looking at a guy, yes, he's got legs. I get it. I totally get it. And all that stuff.
You're right.
That doesn't win games in the NFL.
His talent, his abilities
athletic.
Exceed his statistics that he achieved this year.
Yes.
I don't believe his statistics were really necessarily something that he'd be judged on, but they're going to use that against us when it comes to a trade. He doesn't have the stats.
No,
he didn't show the passing acumen that's required in the NFL. And that's not to say that I don't think he can, but I do think he can fit into an NFL team. I just don't think we're going to get a 2nd round pick in return. And that drives me crazy.
You don't want it.
I would take a 2nd round pick for him in a heartbeat.
Which is why you want to see, like, you talk about quarterback, college or, quarterback, Andy Reid was notorious for bringing in quarterbacks and everything like that. You have AJ Feely, who was a backup at Oregon, who no one knew. He picked him late and everything like that. And then what he do? He turned around a couple years later and he flipped him. I believe, for a second and a third round draft pick.
Right.
And so you're not going to get that kind of draft capital with Hurts right now. And with any GM that has any I totally wish that Bill O'Brien was still coach over at Houston, because he would probably be like, oh yeah, I'll totally flip that. And then I'm going to, you give me him and I'll give you this Watson. And I'm going to give you a third round pick on top of that, because that's
you're just not going to get it.
That's
You're
why he got
not.
fired.
You're not.
He
So
was shit.
right now, Hurts was picked. It was a luxury pick, yes, which sucks. Was not a luxury thing to do, because we needed offensive line. We have an aging defensive line, so we needed to. So we picked
Get somebody who can run the hell out of them.
Injury issues.
So he doesn't get killed.
We have injury issues. We have injury issues right now with Wentz. And
they tried to force him to stay. That was another part of the Peterson plan. Was okay. He liked Hurts, maybe, as you suggested. Right. So because he could move and get out of the pocket, but yet he didn't want Wentz to move and get out of the pocket. So he tried to change the man's natural abilities and make him stand behind an inferior line.
Yes,
it was just horrible. Their left tackle was 2 years past his prime, and they kept trying to force him out there. The guy they drafted that can't get on the field supposedly is hurt. I don't believe that myself. He can't play, and they don't want to admit it because he was a first round pick. So what's his name? Dillard. And that's another big mistake. You don't have a number one left tackle that you picked that can't get on the field the first year. Right. Come on, left tackle should be able to walk on the field and pass block.
Absolutely.
Give me a freaking break.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So I'm telling you, I think Howie is so much more a problem with this team. I'm not.
He's not done.
They support him.
I'm not so much to jump on Howie. I'm more along lines to quickly jump on coaches to develop. I'm more along
Stoutland is a great offensive line coach. Look what he did with moving 13 or 14. How many different offensive lines did he have to throw out there every week? You know what that's like, trying to teach an offensive line to work in tandem together and try and pick up all the blitzes that the NFL brings now. Oh. You know what I mean? It showed. Ask Carson Wentz, because he got his ass handed to him this year.
If anyone, Carson Wentz is the expert on it, because he got it sacked.
Exactly. Here, stand here, and I'm going to let these guys go out there and try to pick up an offense that they've been learning for 3 days. Have you ever seen a regimen in the NFL week of a practice schedule? They don't. You can't do it.
We definitely throw it on upon
I'm not saying it's
game
only
plan and coaching and everything like that.
Yeah, well, I agree. There's more to it than that.
There's that. You look at Peterson or anything like that. You have a running back that's averaging over 5 yards a carry and everything like that, and he just drops off. And
exactly, and that's what I said. You could protect him
if your running back is averaging that much, especially not even just that running back. Your secondary in Boston Scott.
Boston Scott had a higher average at points.
Who's doing all this stuff. Right. And what tells me is it is more of a scheme issue week to week and sticking to that's great. You first quarter, you nailed it. Good job, buddy.
Right.
Good job.
Now, Cole.
And then after
finish
the game. Stick with the run game and everything like that. There's no reason
for
Carson
second
Wentz
thought
to drop back 50 times, which I feel sympathy not only for Carson Wentz, but for Hurts, because Hurts.
Oh, absolutely. He suffered
thing.
the same
Hurts,
issues.
It was the same
he's
getting banged up too. And I don't want to see that. Yep. Okay, everyone's got the mirror image, or not the mirror image, the picture of Peterson side-eyeing Carson Wentz on week 16 or whatever. Hey, look what this guy's doing because he's listening to me. I totally understand the fact that to his athletic ability, it was there. But guess what? The guy throws more interceptions than touchdowns, and that's not going to win you the game in the end. And with a practice squad roster of wide receivers,
it's appalling.
with a practice squad
For how many years is this now? 3 years?
With
the
Wentz
bad
made
receivers?
the playoffs with that.
Exactly.
With Wentz made the playoffs with that.
He went on a 4-game string.
You put that with Jalen Hurts. I'm sorry, Jalen Hurts. He's running for his life.
Yep.
He's running for his life,
Yeah.
and it's not going to happen in the end.
Right. So what did we do? We've. I'm sorry, Jeff.
No, real quickly, because we do have people watching, so I understand this conversation we do since we are interactive with our fans. If you can look over here at the monitor,
Crossfire.
it does say, first thing on the off season is with Carson Wentz is to I can't read that again. I'm sorry. It's a little far away because I'm not my normal setup. So first thing to do in this off season is to trade Hurts and build Carson back up.
No, you don't. You do not trade Hurts this offseason.
You have an asset.
You don't.
You're not going to get in
You got 4
return
years.
what you should. No, I think keeping him around is ruining the locker room. I don't. If it was just a matter of I got a good quarterback here as a backup, and I can train him, and he's my backup. Should Carson not be able to be fixed? We got Jalen Hurts, but I think it's separating the locker room, and with the new coach coming in and needing to get control, doing this COVID situation where they're not even going to be in a locker room, they're going to be on Zoom for half the time. I think I hate to say he needs to move. I don't know. I have no idea how you coach.
Like right now,
but I think he needs to. I think he needs to move Hurts. If he's going to move forward, you got to make a decision. Let's put it that way. You're choosing either to move forward with Wentz or you move forward with Hurts. And I don't like that choice. I would prefer to keep him. But right now, I need the draft picks. If I can get 2/3 for Hurts, I'm trading him because I need more. I need so many people. Our team is just depleted to the point
as of right now. If we're talking draft, we're going to talk draft. And my best recommendation would be, and I'm going to go through this as playing John Madden football 2021. And you take this, I'm gonna take this low pick because I have a lot of holes to fill along my offensive line. My defensive line that's aging. I have no linebackers. I have a secondary that's we have a guy, what's the safety's name that tore his ACL. We are band-aiding. It's total band-aid job. It's a right
band-aid
now.
on a bullet.
It's not going to work. So what you're going to do? You're not filling the roster gap that is needed at 6. What you got? Thank you, Doug Peterson, for saying, Sudfeld, hey, go in there and throw some interceptions. Good job, buddy. And
well, he did move us up 3 spots.
Good job. Thank you for that, because it's actually worth more at 6 than 9. So you trade the 6th pick for a guy that's looking for a Justin Fields that might fall. Or
that's poor.
Do you want Justin Fields? You want another
guy?
You want another quarterback?
We don't need a we don't
well,
need
what
a
are you
quarterback.
Talking about Justin
no,
Fields?
No. I'm talking about just for a team that's trying to trade to that
to
pick,
move up to that.
To that pick.
I got you.
So a team that wants that Justin Fields, who might not be a top 5 pick, that might be a top 10 pick, or now I got to come in. So what am I going to do here? I have, say, the 15th pick, and I'm going to trade a 3rd and a 4th, and next year's fucking 3rd. So, okay, boom, bing, bang, boom. All right, so now you still have a 1st-round pick. You're just picking the mid-round now, and you're able to grab a guy like Moses, who's a linebacker, who's a solid linebacker from Alabama.
You got to be kidding. They're not taking a linebacker in the 1st round.
Grab a line. You grabbing a linebacker.
They won't. They won't do it. They won't do it.
Got to. You have to draft this linebacker in the 1st round.
Do it.
It's just like you should have drafted Queens in the 1st round. Draft.
Come on,
Moses
Brian.
in the 1st round because he's not.
They don't value linebacker.
I know.
I'm not saying I don't.
Regime.
I'm not
total different regime now.
Yeah, we don't know who the defensive coordinator is yet.
This isn't Schwartz draft.
I know, but we don't know who the defensive coordinator. You're right.
We don't.
No, you're right, and I'm very hopeful.
Right. You're right.
I heard that one of the possibilities was the defensive backs coach from Indianapolis as the defensive coordinator because him and Sirianni have a companionship.
Well, your top guys, but Surtain and
right. Well, Surtain,
they're gone. They're gone by.
They'll be there. No, they're saying
at 6.
Right.
But I'm saying
right.
You want to try to get as much draft capital because there's so many holes in this roster.
How many players play for Alabama?
A lot.
22 starters, as far as I know. How about Clemson? How about LSU?
I think
Here's
the
how
answer, I think the answer is 22 on that one.
Yeah, you're right.
All right,
and I think
I'm
it's
just making
consistently.
sure.
I think it's consistently
But
right.
top 10, but
So,
top, but
Ohio-
top 10 talent.
Ohio State. Wait a minute.
Top talent.
That's 40.
Oh,
that's
Ohio
80
State.
That's
Wait.
You don't like Ohio State.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
that's
wait a minute.
88 players.
Excuse me. Hold on.
Who
hold
I
on.
would.
You
I will
said it
take
wrong.
the. Go
You
ahead.
said it wrong. It's not Ohio State. It's
the.
Ohio
I
State.
hate that. Oh, I hate that.
Let me jerk off.
All I want to see is the U.
Listen,
That's all I
so
want to see is the U.
Here's what I'm saying.
Miami.
If they move down from 6 to say 16, just to say, right?
We'll say that.
There's 88 players on those 4 teams alone. You can take almost any one of them.
Yeah, but
and
you're
hit
talking
on a
first round,
player.
second, third round.
No, I don't care.
Kind of guys.
16 in the first round, you cannot miss.
This is not Miami in 2021.
Look, I'm telling
Or,
you.
I mean,
Wait a minute, Brian.
2001. This is
88
not like,
players.
This is not where you're going to have in the first round 20
88
players taken first overall in the first round. You're
I
not
don't-
going to have
I'm
it.
saying, here's my 88. This is my chips. I'm putting my chips in.
You're gonna
Yes,
spill
All right,
your beer.
88 players. I'm not.
As much
Oh
as you
no.
wanna- as much as you
Oh,
want
I'm
to
not
say,
gonna
as
spill
much as
my
you want to
beer.
say, like, I love Alabama football.
No, but you know what I'm
and
saying.
Alabama, yeah,
Listen
I
to
totally
me.
understand. But this is not like,
Look, if you can't hit
2000, 2001, where
come
Miami
on.
Hurricanes were
SMU.
everything. You're not going to see that where they have 20 guys taking the first round. You're not going to see that kind of stuff.
I'm not taking everybody from Alabama. I'm saying you got 3 or 4 from Alabama. You got 5 or 6 from here. You got 3 or 4 from that team. By the time you get to 16, if there ain't a good player on the board, you're an idiot. I mean, there's got to be somebody. We need so many holes that I can. What you make a list? We need a linebacker. We need a safety. We need a not a running back. Wide receivers, multiple. Right. We need a secondary.
Develop
Well,
those wide receivers.
Well, I understand, and you're going to have to do that because
You're
you can't
going to have to
because you can't get them all. But I'm saying
if you're taking wide receivers in the first round,
you need
you're
offensive
looking-
linemen.
yes,
You need defensive
then
linemen.
You're looking like the Detroit
So wait a
Lions
minute.
in the
So-
early 2000s, where they took
Well, they're
Roy
idiots.
Williams, Mike Williams, and Charles Johnson, where 3 drafts in a row, they took these guys, and it's like, oh, we're going to have an awesome core of wide receivers because that's how we're going to do it. We're going to have a spread offense,
I
everything like that. And you know what happened? None of them fucking panned
I'm
out.
not saying that.
So
And
hold on,
you-
what about
you
what
don't-
about-
don't
but I
draft
am
wide
saying
receivers in the
it's
first
6
round.
No, but I'm
Because you have
saying,
Antonio Brown,
and plus
everything like that. You
they
have
end up
guys that
wanting
you get
big
late
dollars
round,
later
you
down the
develop.
line.
Got to develop.
I get you, but we don't do that either. You're going to be. You tell me Jalen
This
Rager's
might
going to
be-
be develop into an
might be
All-Pro wide
different.
receiver.
This might
Do
be
you?
different.
Did you see All-Pro written on his back?
Coming from the Colts, you have Paris Campbell, who is
Did-
very
no,
good.
I'm asking you about
have
Jalen.
Hilton, who-
I'm asking you about Jalen Rager. Do you think he was an All-Pro when you looked at him on the field? Look, I respect
But
your.
I think they falls on the same things of
wasn't
as
coached.
JJ Arcega-Whiteside. Get him on the fucking field. Get him on the fucking field
J-
because you
J-
ain't gonna. You're not.
JJ,
gonna, he's not.
he can't even get in the locker room.
Yes,
Put
he cannot
a,
get him in the locker.
they won't
but
give him a uniform.
You have to play him. You have to play him.
They
You
won't.
have to play him.
I didn't say that, but he hasn't even earned the right to put on the uniform.
So what? That's Doug Peterson saying he hasn't earned the right. Doug Peterson's fired.
And he's a moron, exactly. And he didn't even see any talent in the guy.
Oh my fucking god! Are you shitting me? Like Doug Peterson hasn't said. What has Doug Peterson put on the field as far as talent wise?
Look, we
What?
that-
What? No. I'm asking you a question.
Big
I'm
Dick
asking
Nick.
you a question.
He
What are
brought
you
back
talking
Big
about?
Dick Nick.
Are you
I mean,
talking
no,
about?
no.
Brought him back.
What?
What are you
What
talking
has he
about? A Super Bowl
drafted?
team?
What has been placed that he said this guy is going to produce? What are you going to?
Jay Ajayi.
What?
No, he didn't bring him in.
Who?
Who did Peterson get?
Nobody.
Well,
He
that's
hasn't
what I'm
produced
talking
nobody.
about.
He hasn't produced anybody.
That's what I'm talking about. So Arcega-Whiteside, who picked him?
Another fucking coach could fucking probably produce something out of
Who
him.
picked him?
This is a smart guy from Stanford
Who
that with
picked him?
the intangibles that
You
he
would-
has, he could do it.
But why didn't they put him on the field?
Why didn't he? Because Peter thought he wasn't smart enough. Just why hasn't Miles Sanders been on the field every down? Why was Miles Sanders on the field every down?
Why are you attacking me? I hated Peterson.
I'm not, because you're pissing me off.
All right,
I
so,
never thought
hold on.
Peterson was
All
a
right.
great coach.
I'm going to cut you off right there. No offense.
Go ahead. That's okay. Go ahead.
Because Mr. Colgan is asked
Well, we got a
question
question?
number one. He had two of them. He had two of them in the time of you guys fucking freaking out like little.
No,
little
don't move up in the draft to get Devontae Smith, the Heisman winner.
Nah.
He's
Okay.
don't, because
Okay.
he was in an offense from Alabama. I'm going to tell you what. This is what happens. You have Mac Jones throwing wide open the fast wide receivers, and it's not going to be the same in the NFL. Desmond Howard all over again. Don't do it.
So
Stupid.
Jalen Reagor, hold on.
Stupid.
I'm going to go with this one. Jalen Reagor.
I think Brian Spears kicking in.
God damn.
Seriously, like that whole rant. I just heard like in the headphones. I
Wow.
literally just heard the clip on the monitor. Like, it sounded like a queef through a bathtub.
I'm loving it, Brian.
I mean, it's great and all.
No,
So-
all right. So Devontae Smith. Okay, let's just look at that. I agree. Here's the
Hey, Corey, thanks for
No,
that.
wait, here's my take on those. Okay. I am not someone who wants to take the top ranked guy who's going to be a diva in 3 or 4 years and going to want top dollar. And we're not going to be able to sign him anyway, because that's not the way Howie works. Howie plays the money game. And you have to nowadays in the NFL.
Freaking Alshon to a stupid contract.
Well, I don't understand that for anything. There's something going on in the locker room that we're not aware of.
There is no unity in that locker room.
Exactly. And
No
that's
unity.
and that's part of my move. You can't have two quarterbacks. It never works.
No.
Everybody splits.
Have to
One
be
guy
one.
wants this guy, everybody wants that guy.
Well, hold on.
So,
I beg to differ.
you know.
I beg to differ
No,
because
you're
I'm
you're
best
going to be
example-
wrong here, but go ahead.
What is this? This tastes fucking disgusting.
I flat out told you that beer is going to taste gross.
And what'd you do with the
And
rest
you
of my beer?
Falcon double
You
IP.
hit it.
Anything with IP on is fucking shit.
You read it. You drank it. Suck a dick.
I'm
But the
gonna
whole point is-
delicious.
Hiding my
what,
beer.
what my dad was saying was Soundman Steve was saying that you can't have two quarterbacks. Unfortunately, the Saints they did it.
No, they didn't.
No. That's totally different.
Taysom is definitely
he's
not
quarterback.
anywhere a
Taysom
match
Hill's not a
for
quarterback. He
for
is
Drew
a
Brees.
gimmick guy who was succeeded by
he's
a genius offensive
Yes.
mind
and was smart enough to
in
put
Peyton.
him in and
Yes.
use him
Right, but he
in
has
the right
talent.
situation.
He
No,
has
he's a
talent.
very talented
And-
player.
and he
He's
held
just
his
one of
own.
them tweeners.
But
He's not a.
But he held his own when
Yeah, but
Brees was
I,
out.
I love Taysom
Yeah.
Hill. He was very injury prone at
Right.
BYU. He and all that stuff like that. He was given a chance with the Saints. He was with all that. He showed that he can succeed in the H-back role. He can succeed in wide receiver role. He can he can play all over the place.
super talented athlete. He's an
super.
athlete.
He is not a guy that you're going to rely on to play 16 weeks in a football season
I agree.
and succeed.
17 next year.
31 years old.
Is he really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
He's already he's because he got the
so he's
the
over.
5th year red shirt, medical red shirt.
Wow.
Because
No, I didn't
he's
have
been
no
injury
idea
prone
that
through
was-
his whole entire college career. No one saw this coming.
Right.
Everyone compares him to Steve Young. I say yes. I can see the logistics behind how he's very athletic and everything like that. He can throw a good ball and everything like that. But he's not a guy that you're not going to. Sean Payton knows if Sean Payton's smart, he's got a guy they could probably sign for dirt cheap in Winston,
Jameis Winston.
And
Can he turn him around?
No, I think you saw the
Oh,
diamond
no.
through.
No.
He can throw the
Jameis
ball.
can throw the ball
He
for
can
sure.
Throw the rock.
It's
He
his
can.
it's his decision making that's in question.
But this is the thing with Sean Payton. He's going to focus. He's going to
And Sean Payton,
offense around.
he
his
would be the
strengths
right guy to
and
handle
whatnot.
it for sure.
So you have what was going on in Tampa Bay last year, where he threw 30 interception or anything like that. Bruce Arians is so hard headed. This is how my offense runs. This is how I'm going to do this.
I like Bruce,
and
though.
this is how I'm going to do it. I love Bruce Arians too
Yeah.
because he was successful with Peyton Manning. He was successful with Ben Roethlisberger, Carson Palmer in Arizona, and he came over
Wow,
to
I forgot
Tampa.
about him.
Yes, Jameis Winston threw 30 touchdowns with that offense, but it comes down to, and there's so much more involved. It comes, and even the wide receivers in Tampa Bay said, "Hey, listen, we didn't make the right reads, so let's cut that interception total." And
yeah. I don't blame Jameis for all those errors. No, not at all.
And that's why
you could see guys break.
Tom Brady was getting pissed off because
making the wrong breaks. Yes, they were doing the same thing
like that. They were saying,
exactly.
Like, listen, Tom's making the right calls. We're doing left or right over left.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
They're making the wrong break or whatever.
Calls. So it comes down to Jameis.
Kind of look what happened in Philadelphia.
Jameis is going to do it. So I say if Payne is smart, he signs Jameis to a 3-year deal. 3-year deal, and you could probably get him at the bare minimum as far as.
All right, but what's your backup plan?
As a starting quarterback, he could probably get him in that.
What's your backup though? I mean,
quarterback.
you got to have a backup plan for Jameis Winston. I mean, I like your thinking.
Contract. He'll still under contract, no matter what.
Yeah,
he'll still under contract for 2 years. So they already did that as the backup plan. So if Jameis Winston comes out firing, nope. Interceptions.
Can you imagine? Could you imagine if Jameis Winston got on board and really picked up?
Oh, Hall of Famer.
Yeah, because you could see last week, Drew Brees' arm was starting. He had those out patterns, the sideline patterns.
Talk about Drew Brees, please? Like
you could see that he lost a little bit of the zip on his throws.
Oh, absolutely.
But put Jameis Winston in there,
But Brees has always been. His thing was his accuracy.
Right.
He was like
but that's what they did to him last
Pennington.
week.
He was like not the strongest arm in the world. He was the guy that's going to zip it in accurately.
Right.
And that's
but the last week they forced him to those outside passes, and that's where he failed. They were late
lose the game because of
Brees. No, I agree with
that.
that. But a lot like the 3 interceptions he had? 3?
No, that was not his fault.
No, I'm saying 2 of them were. He threw outside, and they undercut them and picked them off. They were definitely. You look at it again, and they were only 10 yards. I would
say this game
10-yard sideline patterns.
2 key turnovers, which was what was the tight end's name?
Look,
what was the tight end's name? Cooligan. Tight end name
for New Orleans.
So
the tight end for the Saints. I can't even think of his name.
It's not coming to me.
Come on,
he fumbled the ball. He fumbled the ball. I know. I'm sorry. He fumbled the ball, and then on top of that, he had a little ball go right through his hands.
Yeah, well,
So
those
2 turnovers.
I'm not blaming it all on Brees. Don't get me wrong. Jameis Winston cannot read.
I have to disagree.
I apologize for anybody watching.
Yeah.
So because we just finished Shock Hollow Roulette, and the bald bastard went home because it's his daughter's birthday.
Because he's a bald bastard.
He's the bald bastard. But so since our current setup is set up like this, our viewing monitor that we're recording is off to the left here. That's why if the entire time as you see me as they're bittering back and forth like 2 sorority girls over the same college jock, I'm staring at the screen trying to make sure we're getting the right thing going. So it's a far distance. So I apologize for delaying comments.
Well, with what Cooligan said that I don't agree as far as his.
That was the
fall would be as Reed's defense because you have to think about all the quarterbacks have stated that Bruce Arians' offense is predicated upon not only quarterback reads but wide receiver reads, so they have to be on the same page.
That's what we were saying. They're cutting in, they're cutting out. Look, like you said, when Brady was in there, are you gonna put the same onus on Brady? For the same mistakes that this wide receiver crew. And in that note, I'm going to defend Carson Wentz again and say the same thing. Are you going to blame Carson Wentz for the young wide receiver crew that is not moving forward, who is not maybe being coached properly? I don't know how that goes. Or, it falls into the same realm, I guess.
It does. And
I'm not to say I don't know for sure what Carson's
totally
issues are completely, because I haven't sat in the room and know exactly what was called and what was done. But I believe, and I'm going to say this now, is I think he will rank within the top 10 of quarterbacks next year if he gets his starting job back. He'll be top 10 quarterback.
If he goes to Indianapolis.
We have to.
That may be
we
true,
also
too.
we have to think like Philip Rivers. If you want to think about quarterbacks, he was the offensive coordinator, and
what a stud.
We have to think about quarterbacks and everything. We have to think about what Sirianni. Is that his name? Sirianni.
You'll get it right before the end of the
I'm trying here. It's not there yet, but it's going to get there.
Just think South
trust
Philly.
Me, it's
Just
going to get there.
Think South Philly Italian.
Everyone, I see everyone with the pop collars, and I'm just like,
you go down 9th Street, you go to Sirianni's.
Hey, we're going to get some calamari at over on,
First
you know, where's my Jameson and all that shit.
You don't say calamari. Who says calamari?
I don't know.
Who says calamari?
What
person from South Philly, New Jersey, the
people
South,
with no
South
taste.
New York?
People with no taste.
No, it's Galamad. Get it right.
Calamari.
There's
no I.
Galamad.
I'm working on it. I know I'm Italian, but I'm working on it. All right.
You look like an honorary.
So
you look like it. You look Sicilian. You look like you weren't good enough to be Italian, so they kicked you off and put you to the island.
you know, shit happens.
I'm just saying,
but
you look like Carson Wentz at the end of this season, just booted off to the side.
Poor Carson.
No.
So we have totally all right, but you know what we have to look at as far as the new head coach firing and the I'm sorry.
But you know what? I'm not
head
worried
coach.
about, I'm not worried
Head
about
coach
a head
firing
coach.
and then
I'm not worried about a head coach. I'm sorry. And I'm going to base this based on our government. And I'm not getting political. Just hear me out.
Oh,
here.
don't start.
No, I'm not. But think about it. The president of the United States is a scapegoat. He's a scapegoat for all the senators and Congress people. So the head coach has your offensive coordinator, your defensive coordinator, your special teams coach. You have
he's
water
the
boy
CEO.
coach.
He's
He's the guy that all falls on. He's the fall guy. Now, Doug Peterson was a blowhard, as all the reports I've ever read about him is that he's a fucking blowhard. So fuck you, Doug. And I don't know. I've never liked Doug, and I've made it very clear. I've said it since day one. I remember when I heard they got Doug Peterson, I came to the house and I said, why do we hire another Andy Reid? We fired Andy Reid. So fuck you, Doug.
Doug had his good. He had his good and bad.
The only good thing about him is that he got us.
You know, it just might turn out. We're to look back at this like 6 years later and go,
yeah, we had.
No, but this is what I'm
I don't
saying.
know, but
The
yeah, you're
coaches
right.
that
Could
were
happen.
grabbing, the people that were interviewing, the coaches,
just
that
like
were
we were
grabbing,
like, we should
Andy
still
Reid.
have Andy.
they're all Andy Reid people.
I
So
was
that's
ready for
great.
Andy to go, but
No, we were all ready. It was due
I-
time.
but I wish we had him back.
I've said it multiple times. Andy was never given the chance to rebuild the roster.
No, he was never given the chance. And I mean, the man's child died, and he was going through some fucked up shit. Yeah, you're a goddamn liar if you haven't told me that you've had a bad day at work, you've had a bad time with loss of family members,
I'm not having
money,
a good time.
any of that bullshit, getting shocked by me accidentally. You're going to have a bad time. But the fact is, your job doesn't go, all right, fuck you, you're going, see you, bye. No. So they never gave Andy Reid the chance.
wait,
to
I had
fulfill
that
and do
happen.
what
But
he's
go
doing.
ahead.
But you probably told someone to go fuck themselves.
And he's going to win a second.
I've done that.
And he's
in a
going
row.
to win
Second in a row. Yeah, he is.
What's that?
And I think it's going to be fantastic. KC against freaking Green Bay. I think it's going to be fantastic.
What a
It's going to be fantastic.
really.
But I
Mahomes, the new against the old. You know what I mean?
Good.
I agree,
So
man.
good. It's going to be like that.
Where's
it's going to be
the
like
Super
that game.
Bowl?
It's going to be like that game against
Florida.
way back.
Miami?
And you're talking about you're talking. Wait, this is over 10 years ago. You're talking about
Peyton
Green
Manning
Bay
and-
against. No, I'm talking about Green Bay against St. Louis or Arizona. Kurt Warner and Aaron Rodgers. That game.
There's
was
a guy,
fantastic.
Kurt Warner, man.
That was
underrated
a game.
overall.
Oh,
I mean,
my
he
God.
got his due, but I think in the grand scheme of things,
Yes.
I think he was underrated. you know.
Kurt Warner.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can you
I mean,
Kurt,
he was
can you tell me what
amazing.
that comment says,
you could-
Brian?
what?
What's that comment say? I can't see it. I really need glasses, folks. This is I got a 32-inch TV as my computer monitor.
And
I
he can't
cannot
freaking see
comments.
it. If I can see it, it's pretty bad.
loves your shirt.
Oh, okay. Well,
But yeah, no, yeah, that was a fantastic game to watch. That definitely was
great
a
ones.
torch passing. That,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
And if it wasn't for McCarthy being a dipshit head coach that just said, "I'm going to just do the bare minimum," Aaron Rodgers would have won more Super Bowls.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Aaron Rodgers is so impressive.
So I'm gonna have to stick
Yeah.
with my.
Love Aaron Rodgers.
I made my prediction in the beginning.
And I knew
of
when
the
I was a 49ers fan, I was like,
yeah,
I'm gonna say,
49ers.
I'm gonna say, I love as much as I love the Eagles. As much as I love the Eagles, I was like,
Niners fan.
when it came down to that first pick, I was like, oh, just please pick Aaron Rodgers. I don't care the arrogance that comes with it. Just
he is
and
he is a whole
they
personality,
picked
man.
Alex Smith, and no doubt, Alex Smith actually turned into a very good quarterback. Years down the line, who knows what Aaron Rodgers would have done in that time period and everything like that. But it was just
Every situation, isn't that strange? You see
it's
some
weird.
phenomenal quarterbacks go to bad situations and fail, and it's really not their fault as much as it is a bad organization, and that's why it's so concerning nowadays with the Eagles situation, because getting the right coach, getting the right people in the right places means so much to these quarterbacks. It's not everybody wants to. I can't stand watching all this blaming Carson, blaming whatever. It's not. There's so many more factors that go into it, and I just think that
that's why
it's been proven over and over again.
That's why you have Joe that is so big on Nick Foles and everything like that. Nick Foles, and he even proved it. Nick Foles proved it.
Sorry, you keep moving away from the microphone.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
So Joe is stated he is a humongous Nick Foles. And
Big Dick Nick.
I love Nick Foles and everything like that, but he is proven that his year that he had, where it was, I think it was like 27 or 28 touchdowns to 2 or 3, which is historical.
That was an amazing
year. It was an amazing year. It was an amazing year and everything like that.
What did
it's
it get
fantastic. To a system quarterback is a system quarterback.
Yep.
And he showed that he can succeed in a system which he ran in Arizona, which was a run pass option kind of situation.
The RPO.
Which you
like
have
here.
a guy like Kaepernick who succeeded in a run pass option, but when they tried to expand it and it never worked out and it was failed upon trying to deliver and everything like that, you try to bring a quarterback that can make all the throws. Not saying that a guy like Nick Foles or Kaepernick
Corey, you're correct, by the way, Corey.
Cannot make those throws. I'm not trying to say cannot make those throws, but I'm trying to say, for the fact of the matter is,
system is everything.
System is very big.
It's everything.
System is very big. You look at Tom Brady, everybody, Mark. You watch that 20 for 20 or whatever with Tom Brady, where all the scouts have him. Tom Brady he can succeed in a system and everything like that. Tom Brady has proven that it's not just a system. Tom Brady, he
can adapt. He adapts to every situation.
God, I just watched a freaking video. I just watched a video where he was like at Tampa Bay, headquarters or anything like that. And he was literally like taking snaps from the ball. And they had like, the old school, people driving carts and everything like that. And whatever. They had not just driving carts with the big, bullseyes and everything like that.
And he's hitting them right.
And everything like that.
Right.
They had little, what's it called? If you're trying to like punch a dummy, talking about like little dummies,
right?
Or like that.
He's hitting them.
Oh my fucking God. I am not shitting you. This guy took freaking hikes under center and boom, you had carts running across the freaking thing.
Right.
And he's hitting these freaking targets in the fucking chest.
Yeah. Well, I was listening to an evaluation this week
amazing
about Tom Brady and talking about, it was actually an attack on Carson, that there's this story out of some writer that's this week who's, I don't know whether he's trying to make a name for himself or it's factual. This saying that Carson doesn't want to work hard enough to become a better quarterback. I don't buy that. I really don't. But in the comparison was guys like Brady, who, as they got older, spent more time, who studied harder, who exercised, who changed their health, who worked on every aspect of their physical, being to become a better quarterback and to continue. I mean, how is Tom now?
42,
43 or 42?
43, something like
Now,
that.
I think he's
Okay, look
42.
at a guy like
right?
Gronkowski and everything like that, who was a physical phenomenon at tight end and everything like that. And you go and you try to compare and everything like that. Even he says he cannot keep up with Tom Brady.
Right. Right.
Cannot keep up.
No, and that's great for Tom Brady. Now, I made this prediction on our fantasy cast beginning of the season when we started talking about fantasy football, and I said I hope Tom Brady to prove that you're the GOAT. Now, Aaron Rodgers is probably one of the greatest quarterbacks you'll ever see, but to call yourself the GOAT,
I agree.
to call yourself now, I think Tom Brady can go suck a big bag of dirty dicks. Personal opinion, but I said at the beginning of the season,
That's not nice.
if Tom Brady can get to the Super Bowl with a completely different team, new coach, new everybody,
Yeah, explain that.
and if you can get to the Super Bowl, you know what? Hats off to you, man. And I'm still going to say it's Brady in the Super Bowl. As much as I want to see Aaron Rodgers get another ring, I would love to see Aaron Rodgers.
I agree. I think it's Aaron Rodgers' year. But
This is
but
it.
when I
He's gonna
look
get
at Tom
MVP, he's gonna
Brady,
get Super Bowl MVP, he's going to get Super Bowl.
I agree. I see it.
Duns.
You can see the confidence
Do we
all
wanna make a
over.
bet?
It does. It just.
Dan never ate his fucking deviled eggs. Fuck!
Oh,
Sorry about
yeah,
that.
fucking
Motherfucker. We got on this football rant, and you're like, we're going live.
He
Fuck,
snuck
we'll do
out.
it live, and he
He-
snuck out.
he
no,
fucking
I
slipped
totally,
out.
I
Deviled
totally
eggs
agree.
are
No,
I
I-
this is
It's
the
Aaron
year,
Rodgers'
like that.
year.
This
But
is
but to see
because
Tom Brady
you've got
come
Ryan McCarthy,
without
you've got
Bill
Ryan McCarthy,
Belichick
and
make it to the Super Bowl would be
that just shows
freaking
how much-
unbelievable.
that's how
Right?
I just want to know, how long did Dallas sign McCarthy for? Because every year is gorgeous.
I think he got a 7-year contract.
Boy, did he did he
it's like,
crumble under?
he totally freaking
He
charmed.
dropped the ball,
He totally
fucking whatever you
charmed
want to
the
call
shit
it.
out of Jerry Jones. Totally charmed
Right.
him. And it's like, how long? Because even Aaron Rodgers was like, he's like, this guy isn't even coach. He's on the golf course.
The eggs are
We're
here
working
at the
hard
house.
over here. He isn't freaking
Really?
scheming. He's like, I'm changing plays in the huddle, trying to make this freaking shit work. And they're just getting past over
Right.
over 500. So they're just barely getting
Right.
over.
Are we
all
doing
the
a thing
facts.
tomorroar?
Yes.
They're just
Or is this it?
just barely
Because
getting
I don't want to
over.
expose all my
They're
feelings.
just
No,
barely
no.
getting over
This-
this shit,
we-
like
we-
with the 500 mark and everything like that. So what I'm going to say, I'm saying it right now.
You're saying it.
I'm
I
saying
synced
it
it.
right now.
I synced it.
I synced it, and I'm going to say it right now.
I
You're going to see it, Aaron Rodgers, and I'm going to say, oh my God, and I'm going to say, what's his name? Josh Allen, Super Bowl. I'm saying that right here.
Bills? Okay, we're going
I'm
Bills.
saying Bills,
Ooh.
Green Bay. I'm seeing a
Ooh.
upset.
Nah.
I'm seeing an upset. I'm seeing this upset, and I'm going to say Aaron Rodgers wins the second Super Bowl to cement him in Canton.
I agree. I kind of agree. I hate to say it. I mean, no, look, my heart is with Tom Brady because I'd like to see him stick it in Belichick's
Belichick's
face.
I'm there.
Okay, he's already done that though. Just
Winning, just getting to the playoffs.
Just by
I mean,
making it to
wait,
the
who's in the
championship.
playoffs? Into the playoffs.
Well,
Not
the
the Patriots.
championship,
Another team in the
dude.
playoffs.
He's in the championship game.
Yes.
Okay, so he's already done that to Belichick. But
Belichick
But-
couldn't scheme his way into it. He couldn't do
Yeah.
it. He needed that
I
quarterback.
just think,
and
right-
it just shows.
I just think that, Rodgers right now is
And
just.
I'm going to be
You
totally
watch him; he's
honest.
having so much fun, and I can't. There's nothing more that just releases. When you're loose and you're having a good time and you're playing at the top of your game, there's not much that can beat that.
Except
Tampa
for
has
Tom
a
Brady.
phenomenal defense,
It's
Except
a
for
swagger.
Tom Brady.
and I'll give Bruce,
swagger.
I'll give Arians,
It's that swagger.
I'll give
It's
Arians
that
all the
Eagle
credit in the
swagger we
world.
had that year.
I agree. You
They
could
were
just feel
showing
it. Exactly, you feel it.
Aaron Jones pulls off a 15-yard gain. He's just like, flip that ball. Just okay.
Yep.
That's what's
This
up.
is what we do.
This is what we do.
I'm
This is what we do.
I'm going to agree on the Bills. I would like to see the Bills go back. Do I want to see the Bills actually
Wide
win a Super
right.
Bowl? Do I actually want to see the Bills win a
Fifth
Super
time.
Bowl? Because the last time I saw the
Fifth
Bills,
time, wide right.
the last time I saw the Bills in the Super Bowl, they got spanked by Dallas, not once,
Oh.
but twice.
It's 4 times.
3.
No,
They lost
3.
4.
No,
lost
they win.
4.
They win.
They lost 4, but how many times?
Two
did they Dallas?
to Dallas, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was
But so
one
3
against,
times.
New
I
York
don't.
Giants, wasn't it? Wasn't it
Yeah.
the Giants? No.
It was Giants, Dallas. I don't remember the fourth. I don't remember the fourth.
I don't know. As much as I want to see McDermott hit it, boom.
I really like
I would love to
McDermott.
see McDermott, but I love to see Aaron
All right,
Rodgers say, "I'm the best fucking quarterback in
But
all the land."
my prediction's going to be Tampa Bay Bills, and unfortunately, Tampa Bay is going to squeak by. They're going to squeak by. The Bills are going to. They're not going to be able to handle the pressure. again.
And then you know what? I wouldn't be shocked by that because I think defense. And that's what my thinking is. I'm thinking about tomorrow. All right, look, we all
They have a
4
solid
teams.
D,
We're
though.
talking
Green
tomorrow.
Bay. Green
All
Bay
4 teams. Right. Let's see it tomorrow.
We'll get into
We're
that
gonna talk
tomorrow.
about that
Hey, tomorrow you tune in at 11:45 ish. That's what we're doing. So that's what we're doing.
We've been drinking. Also, we also
A little
have the-
bit.
We also have the Conor McGregor.
I got
fight
this
tonight.
Millennium.
And we
Jacket.
gotta go because I'm empty.
Yeah,
so
there it is.
So, in the famous phrases of every frat boy in town, out of beer, out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 11:45, right here, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Barfy and the Bald Bass Brigade. Thank you, Soundman Steve, for helping us out today. Mr. Monahan for hanging out. To Monahan's wife, please be gentle on him. I apologize. This is not my idea, but please be gentle. All right, guys. Check us out tomorrow, 11:45. Be safe.
Get it.